You know, we all have these huge goals, these big dreams. But what is it? What's that one thing that really separates the people who make it happen from the ones who just don't? Well, today we're going to talk about a force that can change everything: mental discipline. Let's dive in.
So let me ask you this. Is just being talented enough to get you where you want to go? Can you just coast on natural ability? It's a question we've all thought about. Let's meet someone who found out the answer, the hard way.
Meet Ryan. This is a kid who everyone thought had it made. He was brilliant, super smart, and he had a clear dream. He was going to be a doctor. But here's the thing. He was walking right into a huge obstacle, what I like to call the potential trap.
And this really lays out the battle that was going on inside his head. On the one hand, you have the dream, right? He's smart, he's got the goal, the path is right there. But then there's the reality, a mind that just wouldn't sit still, a phone that was always buzzing, and that classic, dangerous habit of saying, I'll get to it later.
And that's the real trap, isn't it? That whole idea of later feels so safe, but it's an illusion. For Ryan, and honestly for a lot of us, that perfect moment to start just never shows up. And while you're waiting, the opportunity just slips right through your fingers.
The problem with later is that eventually you run out of time. And for Ryan, that moment came. And it came in the form of a really painful wake-up call. A failure so big it forced him to finally face the truth about his lack of discipline.
And the fallout was just brutal. He completely bombs the big scholarship exam, the one that was supposed to be his ticket. He has to watch his friends who actually put in the work do incredibly well. He could feel the disappointment from his teachers. But the worst part, the part that really cut deep, was the shame. Because he absolutely knew it wasn't because he wasn't smart enough. He only had himself to blame.
And that's when it finally hit him. That was the moment it all clicked. He realized that being smart, having potential, that's just the entry fee. It gets you in the door, but it doesn't win you the game. Without discipline, it's just wasted fuel. And that realization, it changed everything. So Ryan knew he needed help. He found a mentor, Coach Miller. And the coach's first lesson wasn't some long lecture. Nope, it was a simple, hands-on test that would completely reframe how Ryan thought about the idea of focus. The coach just takes Ryan out to a field, hands him a bow and an arrow, and gives him one simple job: hit the bullseye. Seems easy enough, right? A straightforward physical challenge. But the real test was just getting started. So Ryan pulls back the bow, he lets the arrow fly, and he misses. By a lot. But the coach, he doesn't say anything about his stance or his arm. Instead, he asks this one incredibly simple question. And there it is. The truth comes out. Ryan admits he was looking all over the place. The trees, the grass, the whole giant backboard, everywhere except for the one tiny spot that mattered. His focus was completely scattered, just like it was with his studies.
And boom, that's the secret. The coach just laid it out perfectly. A great archer, just like a focused student, learns to tune everything else out. All the noise, all the distractions, they just disappear. All that's left is the target. It's such a powerful lesson in single-minded focus.
Okay, so the archery analogy is great, but you can't just think your way into having more focus, right? You need an actual game plan. So that's what Coach Miller gave Ryan. 4 simple, practical rules to train his mind, just like an athlete trains their body.
So here they are, the 4 rules that changed the game for Ryan. First up, control your thoughts. This means when you feel your mind start to drift, and it will, you don't get mad, you just gently say, nope, this is study time, and you bring it back. It's like a push-up for your brain. Rule 2, make a routine. A schedule isn't about being a robot, it's about making fewer decisions. When you know what you're supposed to be doing, you can use all your mental energy for actually doing it. 3, and this one is huge, keep distractions away. Engineer your environment for success. Put the phone in another room. Turn off the notifications. It's not about having more willpower, it's about needing less of it. And finally, Rule 4, practice every single day. Discipline is a muscle. You build it with small, consistent reps, day after day, until being focused becomes your natural state. So, the big question is, did all this actually work? Did these 4 rules really make a difference for Ryan? Well, he went all in on them, and the transformation was, frankly, incredible. Let's take a look at how he went from total failure to first in his class.
Now, check this out, because this was not some overnight miracle. That first month was a real struggle. It was hard, but he stuck with the routine. Then, in the second month, you start to see things click. His focus gets a little better. By month 3, he's a different person. He can actually sit and study for hours without his mind going everywhere. This just proves that real, lasting change is a marathon, not a sprint.
And the result of all that grinding, all that practice, when he took his next big exam, he didn't just pass. He absolutely crushed it, came in first place. And see, the story isn't about him magically getting smarter. He was always smart. This was about him finally unlocking that potential through pure, hard-earned discipline.
Ryan's journey, from that distracted kid with tons of potential to a super-focused, high-achieving student, it all really comes down to one powerful metaphor that Coach Miller shared with him.
I mean, just think about that for a second. A wild horse. Your mind has all this power, all this energy. If you let it run wild, it's going to drag you through the mud in a million different directions. But if you take the time to train it, to discipline it, that same horse becomes the most powerful engine you have, ready to take you exactly where you want to go. The choice is yours.
And that really brings everything back to you, doesn't it? What's your target? What's your destination? And more importantly, what are you going to do, starting today, to train that wild horse in your head and make sure it takes you there? The training starts now.